Peaceful narratives. A journey toward inner peace and happiness. As Buddha once said, happiness does not depend on what you have or who you are. It solely relies on what you think. Have you ever felt like life's challenges are too overwhelming? Today, we are going to explore some wisdom from Buddhism that can help us navigate tough times. But don't worry, these tips aren't just for Buddhists. They're for anyone struggling with emotions and life's ups and downs. Join us as we delve into 15 simple ideas inspired by Buddhism. These aren't complicated rules. They're just ways to make life a bit better and find more happiness. Whether you're feeling stressed, lost, or just looking for a bit of peace, these ancient teachings have something for everyone. Let's discover how these timeless teachings can bring more calm and joy into our lives, one step at a time. Practice forgiveness. Forgiveness is a profound concept in Buddhism, rooted in the understanding of interconnectedness and the nature of suffering. In Buddhist philosophy, forgiveness is not merely an act of letting go of past grievances. It is a transformative practice that leads to inner freedom and liberation from the cycle of suffering. Buddha himself emphasized the importance of forgiveness, stating, "Holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned." To forgive in the Buddhist sense is to release oneself from the burden of resentment and anger, recognizing that holding on to such negative emotions only harms oneself. It does not necessarily mean condoning or forgetting the actions of others, but rather choosing to let go of the emotional attachment to past hurts. A powerful practice for cultivating forgiveness in Buddhism is forgiveness meditation, also known as metta, or loving-kindness meditation. In this practice, individuals extend feelings of compassion, kindness, and forgiveness towards themselves and others, including those who may have caused harm or offense. Through repetition and intention, this practice helps soften the heart and dissolve barriers erected by anger and resentment. Moreover, forgiveness in Buddhism is closely linked to the concept of karma, the law of cause and effect. Understanding karma involves recognizing that every action, whether positive or negative, carries consequences. Holding on to resentment only perpetuates negative karma. By forgiving others, individuals can break the cycle of negative karma and create the conditions for greater peace and happiness in their lives. Live with intention. Living with intention in Buddhism means consciously directing our thoughts, words, and actions toward what truly matters to us, guided by our values and aspirations. It's about aligning our daily choices with our deeper purpose and vision for our lives, rather than drifting aimlessly or being driven solely by external circumstances. At the heart of living with intention is the recognition of impermanence and the preciousness of life. Buddhists believe that life is fleeting and uncertain, and therefore it's essential to make the most of each moment by living with purpose and mindfulness. One key aspect of living with intention is clarifying our values and priorities. This involves reflecting on what truly matters to us, what brings us fulfillment and meaning, and what we aspire to achieve in our lives. By gaining clarity about our values, we can make decisions that are in alignment with our deepest aspirations, leading to a greater sense of fulfillment and purpose. Living with intention also involves setting goals and intentions that are in harmony with our values. Instead of merely reacting to circumstances or going through the motions of life, we actively pursue goals that reflect our aspirations and contribute to our growth and well-being. This may involve setting specific, measurable goals in various areas of our lives, such as career, relationships, health, and personal development. Cultivate generosity. Generosity is a fundamental virtue in Buddhism. rooted in the principle of compassion and interconnectedness. It is the practice of giving freely and selflessly without expecting anything in return. And it is considered a powerful means of cultivating positive qualities such as kindness, compassion, and joy. Generosity in Buddhism is not limited to material giving, but encompasses all forms of giving, including giving of one's time, attention, skills, and even forgiveness and understanding. One of the central teachings of Buddhism is the importance of overcoming selfishness and cultivating a spirit of generosity. Buddha himself was a model of generosity, freely giving his teachings, time, and resources to all who sought his guidance. He often emphasized the joy and liberation that comes from giving, stating, "Generosity brings happiness at every stage of its expression." We experience joy in forming the intention to be generous, in the act of giving, and in remembering it. Practicing generosity in Buddhism involves cultivating a generous mindset and actively seeking opportunities to give. This may involve acts of charity and philanthropy, such as donating to those in need or volunteering for charitable organizations. However, generosity is not limited to grand gestures. Even small acts of kindness and generosity can have a profound impact on others and bring joy to both the giver and the receiver. Practice self-reflection. Self-reflection is a fundamental practice in Buddhism, essential for personal growth, insight, and liberation from suffering. It involves looking inward with honesty and mindfulness, examining our thoughts, emotions, and actions with the aim of gaining deeper understanding and wisdom. At the heart of self-reflection in Buddhism is the recognition of the impermanent and interconnected nature of reality. By turning our attention inward and observing the ever-changing nature of our thoughts, feelings, and experiences, we come to realize the transient and conditioned nature of our existence. This insight helps to loosen the grip of attachment and aversion, leading to greater freedom and liberation from suffering. Self-reflection in Buddhism involves cultivating mindfulness, the practice of being fully present and aware of our thoughts, emotions, and bodily sensations without judgment. Through mindfulness, we can observe the fluctuations of our mind with clarity and objectivity, gaining insight into the causes and conditions that give rise to our thoughts and emotions. Foster equanimity. Equanimity is a profound concept in Buddhism, referring to a state of inner balance, calmness, and non-reactivity in the face of life's ups and downs. It is the ability to remain steady and undisturbed by external circumstances, whether pleasant or unpleasant, and is considered a key factor in achieving true happiness and liberation from suffering. At its core, equanimity in Buddhism is rooted in the understanding of impermanence and the ever-changing nature of reality. By recognizing that all phenomena are transient and subject to change, we come to understand that clinging to pleasant experiences or resisting unpleasant ones only leads to suffering. Equanimity involves accepting the flow of life with an open and balanced heart, without being swept away by the fluctuations of pleasure and pain. Cultivate patience. Patience is a highly esteemed virtue in Buddhism, seen as an essential quality on the path to enlightenment and liberation from suffering. It is the ability to remain calm, composed, and tolerant in the face of difficulties, delays, or provocation without becoming agitated or reactive. At its core, cultivating patience in Buddhism is rooted in the understanding of impermanence and the law of karma. Buddhists believe that all things are transient and subject to change, and that every action has consequences. By recognizing the impermanent nature of reality and the interplay of causes and conditions, we can cultivate patience as we navigate life's inevitable challenges and setbacks. Let go of ego. Letting go of ego is a central teaching in Buddhism, emphasizing the importance of transcending the illusion of a fixed and separate self. In Buddhism, ego is viewed as the root cause of suffering, as it leads to attachment, aversion, and a distorted view of reality. At its core, letting go of ego in Buddhism involves recognizing the impermanent and interconnected nature of all phenomena. The Buddha taught that the self is not a fixed and permanent entity, but rather a construct of the mind, devoid of inherent existence. By letting go of attachment to the self, we can free ourselves from the cycle of craving and aversion and experience true freedom and liberation. Embrace change. Embracing change is a fundamental teaching in Buddhism, reflecting the understanding of impermanence as a natural and inevitable aspect of life. In Buddhism, change is not something to be feared or resisted, but rather embraced as an opportunity for growth, transformation, and liberation from suffering. At its core, embracing change in Buddhism involves recognizing the impermanent nature of all phenomena. The Buddha taught that everything in the world is subject to change, including our thoughts, emotions, bodies, and the world around us. By embracing change, we can cultivate a sense of acceptance and equanimity, allowing us to flow with the ever-changing currents of life rather than resisting or clinging to them. Seek wisdom. Seeking wisdom is a core principle in Buddhism, reflecting the belief in the transformative power of knowledge and understanding. In Buddhism, wisdom is not merely intellectual knowledge, but rather a deep insight into the nature of reality and the causes of suffering and liberation. At its core, seeking wisdom in Buddhism involves a commitment to learning and self-inquiry. The Buddha himself emphasized the importance of seeking wisdom, stating, "He who knows others is wise. He who knows himself is enlightened." This statement underscores the importance of both external knowledge and self-awareness in the pursuit of wisdom. Practice non-attachment. Non-attachment is a fundamental concept in Buddhism, involving letting go of attachment to desires, possessions, and outcomes. It is the practice of cultivating a mindset of non-attachment, where one remains unaffected by the fluctuations of the external world and finds inner peace and freedom from suffering. At its core, practicing non-attachment in Buddhism is rooted in the recognition of the impermanent nature of all things. The Buddha taught that attachment to transient phenomena leads to suffering, as it creates a sense of craving, clinging, and dissatisfaction. By letting go of attachment and embracing the impermanent nature of reality, individuals can find liberation from suffering and experience greater peace and contentment. Cultivate joy. Cultivating joy is a central aspect of Buddhist practice, reflecting the belief that true happiness arises from within and can be cultivated through intentional effort and mindfulness. In Buddhism, joy is not merely an ephemeral feeling dependent on external circumstances, but a deep-seated sense of contentment and well-being that arises from cultivating positive qualities of mind and heart. At its core, cultivating joy in Buddhism involves training the mind to focus on positive experiences and qualities rather than dwelling on negativity or discontent. The Buddha taught that joy arises from wholesome states of mind, such as generosity, gratitude, compassion, and loving kindness. By intentionally cultivating these qualities, individuals can create the conditions for joy to arise naturally in their lives. Develop compassion. Developing compassion is a central pillar of Buddhist teachings, embodying the aspiration to alleviate suffering and promote the well-being of all beings. In Buddhism, compassion is not merely a sentiment or feeling, but an active quality of the heart that arises from a deep understanding of the interconnectedness of all life. At its core, developing compassion in Buddhism involves cultivating a genuine concern for the welfare and happiness of others. The Buddha taught that all beings desire happiness and seek to avoid suffering, and that cultivating compassion is a way to fulfill this universal aspiration. By recognizing the inherent worth and dignity of all beings, individuals can cultivate compassion as a guiding principle in their thoughts, words, and actions. Embrace impermanence. Embracing impermanence is a fundamental teaching in Buddhism, emphasizing the understanding that all things are subject to change and transience. In Buddhism, impermanence is not viewed as a source of fear or anxiety, but rather as a natural and essential aspect of life that can lead to greater wisdom, freedom, and appreciation for the present moment. At its core, embracing impermanence in Buddhism involves recognizing the ever-changing nature of reality. The Buddha taught that all phenomena, including our thoughts, emotions, bodies, and the world around us, are in a constant state of flux. By acknowledging and accepting the impermanent nature of all things, individuals can release the grip of attachment and aversion and find greater peace and contentment in the present moment. Cultivate gratitude. Cultivating gratitude is a profound practice in Buddhism, promoting a mindset of appreciation and thankfulness for the countless blessings in our lives, both big and small. In Buddhism, gratitude is not merely a fleeting emotion, but a transformative attitude that can lead to greater happiness, contentment, and spiritual growth. At its core, cultivating gratitude in Buddhism involves recognizing and acknowledging the abundance of goodness in our lives. The Buddha taught that even amidst life's challenges and difficulties, there are countless reasons to be grateful, from the gift of life itself to the kindness of others and the beauty of the natural world. By cultivating gratitude, individuals can shift their focus from what is lacking to what is present, leading to greater joy and fulfillment. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is a central practice in Buddhism, involving the cultivation of awareness and presence in each moment. It is the practice of being fully present and attentive to our thoughts, emotions, and sensations without judgment, allowing us to experience life with greater clarity and depth. At its core, practicing mindfulness in Buddhism involves developing the ability to observe our inner and outer experiences with a calm and non-reactive mind. The Buddha taught that mindfulness is essential for understanding the nature of reality and achieving liberation from suffering. By practicing mindfulness, individuals can develop greater insight into the causes and conditions of their thoughts and emotions, leading to greater wisdom and inner peace. As we journey through life, the wisdom of Buddhist teachings offers us invaluable guidance on how to navigate its complexities with grace and insight. Whether it's embracing impermanence, cultivating gratitude, or practicing mindfulness, these timeless principles provide a roadmap to greater peace, happiness, and liberation from suffering. By integrating these teachings into our daily lives, we can awaken to the profound beauty and richness of each moment and embark on a path of profound transformation and fulfillment. So let us embrace these teachings with an open heart and a curious mind. For in doing so, we unlock the keys to a life of profound wisdom, compassion, and joy. Subscribe to Wisdom Diaries and journey with us towards a life of profound insight and joy. Join our community of seekers committed to living with wisdom and fulfillment. So let us embrace these teachings with an open heart and a curious mind. For in doing so, we unlock the keys to a life of profound wisdom, compassion, and joy. Subscribe to Peaceful Narratives and journey with us towards a life of profound insight and joy. Join our community of seekers committed to living with wisdom and fulfillment.